Cancer station. Let's put this giant substation right next to this neighborhood. I'm sure the people here won't notice a thing. They'll be just fine. With all these nice antenna lines, power lines running over them. You realize that in our modern world, since shit, look at old pictures from the 1890s. They still had lines running everywhere. We haven't been away from one of these lines, and every wire is an antenna. Just never forget that fact, that every piece of wire, no matter what, is an antenna. We've never been far from one at all, ever, in our lives. Unless you go like hike out into the mountains someplace, that's nowhere near where power's running at. But if you live in a city at all, there's one running by your head while you're sleeping, like a couple feet from you. You're never more than a few feet from one, or from here to above you on the street. And with the new computer systems being able to run data over power lines, basically what it means is that they can use the power that's operating appliances and things as a carrier wave, and then they can heterodyne over that carrier wave all kinds of different frequencies and use the wire that's carrying the power as the antenna to emit the frequencies. So it's not just the cell towers like that one there that's right in the middle of that substation, but it's the substation itself with all the transformers inside concentrating the electromagnetic force right there, and it's the wires that run out here radiating the frequencies off of them to the homes that are right next to them. And it's nationwide, everywhere. And then that's not enough to make sure these frequencies get to people. We've got to fly airplanes around in circles over them nearly at all times. But where are they today? Isn't there supposed to be 27 jetliners at the same time flying over my city right now? And every minute, every time I look? Because that's normal. It's normal to have 10 guys in Cessnas flying in circles at 800 feet over every residential neighborhood all day, every day. In fact, they do it in the pouring down rain. They do it on Thanksgiving. They do it on Christmas. They do it at night in the pouring rain. Little airplanes. We're having a good time in a plane flying in circles all day in the pouring rain. Where are they at today? Apparently they didn't all hook up at the donut shop and make plans to go fly their little planes in circles over people's homes all day today for some reason. That's weird. We got these clouds that fall apart now. They appear to be normal clouds. I think they've got a new spray. It mixes in with the water vapor of a real cloud. And once the cloud drops low enough, it falls back out of it. But at any rate, it's deflecting our moisture away. It's supposed to be April showers, May flowers. It hasn't been very rainy. We've had some rain, but it's supposed to rain all month, generally, damn near, and start clearing up at the end of the month. I think today's the 30th. This little area right here, my head hurts a lot. There's another substation up here. There's a giant celery over there, too. Celery! Hey, it's celery. Where's the little guy in the plane? Gosh, I'm nervous without my private plane flying over me at all times. Oh well. The chemtrail particles are tiny antennas. The tiny antennas are picked up in your body by a fungus that's been intentionally given to you. The fungus grows through your body, and as it grows, it takes these little chemtrail particles that it thinks are food or building blocks for its little web structure, and it builds filamentary lines through you. And those little lines of those little antenna particles become long chains of antenna. And the frequencies that I'm talking about being heterodyned over the power lines, and also the frequencies coming from Wi-Fi and cell phones, and probably from the planes that fly around in circles over us. Remember the AWACS plane when it came out, the radar plane with the radar dome on the top, I believe? Yeah. Well, that was part of HARP technology too. These frequencies interact with those antennas that are grown inside your body. Why build an antenna and RFID somebody when you can give them a fungus and spray them with the metal, and the fungus will align the metal along its paths, along its lines of its growth, and thereby create an antenna array inside of your body. Your whole body actually becomes an antenna array and an RFID. And then by heterodyning their high frequencies that interact with those antennas over the power lines via the substations, they make sure that that signal gets to you no matter where you go. Heck, we carry them on us all the time. Those little things, they're emitting the same signal. Why do you think they're so hypnotizing? The screen, that LCD screen, is a transmitter. It transmits light and color, yeah. And the shapes for the pictures. It also transmits other frequency waves. Maybe all the way up to gamma waves. It transmits the same frequencies as your brain waves, that your eyes use, that your ears use when you hear. That transmitter is beaming you. The wires are beaming you. The LED lighting that's gone up is beaming you. The LEDs use a half wave of the power of an AC wave. They use a half wave. And photoreceptors in our cells can sense the difference between a full wave light spectrum and a half wave light spectrum. And by varying the timing of the pulse DC that runs the LEDs, they can alter the frequency of that wave even and make it smaller, or have different effects based on how much of the wave is used to run the light. What do we see? We see an LED light, kind of a harsh, light, but plenty bright nowadays. What we don't see is what our photoreceptor cells see, and that's the half waves, and they trigger changes inside of our bodies too. They make us think that it's nighttime, I believe. We don't sleep properly. It messes you up in a lot of ways. Why would they do something like that? Just to save a buck on electricity? Get. I'm almost home. Look at the new styles and everything too. I mean, all the homes, have you noticed they've got charcoal, gray, and brown, and burnt umber, and there's been a trend to go back to like this gothic looking, toys in the attic type of house. These people are cool though. This house has been here longer than the other ones. They got a freaking cabin. State patrolman lives on the corner. I feel safe now. Little kids are usually trying to ride their bicycles out in front of me as I turn the corner here. But it's a nice day. I mean, look at that sky. Where's the little planes? There's supposed to be little planes flying over continuously. When they spray chemtrails heavily and the little planes are flying, it doesn't matter if it's this sunny or not. There's nobody out doing anything. Now, today, when they didn't do it, the kids are all out playing. Oh my God, they're playing. They're bouncing a ball and riding bicycles. And what's the difference between this day and any other day? They didn't chemtrail the holy shit out of us. And the little microwave planes aren't flying around zapping everybody. And people come out and play. And when those planes are flying, they don't come out and play. It's pretty easy to see if you look. So that tells me is that people just don't realize what's being done to them. They think that they're just decided to stay in. Oh, I don't feel as good today. I think I'll just stay home. I'll just watch some shows on the computer or whatever. But they don't notice that their behavior patterns and that the things they do are changing. They seem to not notice that. And if they do notice, they have a good reason for it. It's, they're tired from working, or they had to do this or that, or, whatever. They just needed a break, and I'm just going to chill out and not do anything. The bottom line is people aren't doing anything. But when you get the occasional rare day when there's no chemtrails and there's no microwave planes, and you notice your environment, what you see is that people suddenly are out everywhere. The parks have got lots of people in them, and there's lots of people out driving around, and there's lots of kids playing. And that's great. Gosh, I wish that would be like